They denied a black CEO his seat. Minutes later, billions and hundreds of flights were frozen. The denial happened quietly, almost casually, the way injustices often do. A man in a tailored charcoal suit stood at the edge of first class, boarding pass in hand, while the hum of an early morning airport wrapped around him like fog. He had arrived early, calm and prepared, yet the attendant's eyes slid past his confirmation, lingering on his skin before settling into polite refusal. In that small moment, something heavy pressed down on his chest, not anger, not shock, but a familiar ache he had learned to carry with grace. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and stories that remind us of our shared humanity, please like this video, share it with someone who needs hope today, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel so more real stories like this can be told. The man was Elijah Moore, a name rarely spoken aloud but known in numbers and quiet power. He was the CEO of a global aviation logistics company whose software stitched together air traffic systems across continents, ensuring that planes took off on time, cargo moved efficiently, and safety protocols never slept. His work lived behind the scenes, invisible to passengers sipping coffee in terminal cafes. Elijah had grown up watching his mother work double shifts, had studied by flickering lights, had learned early that excellence was his shield. Even now, at the height of success, he traveled without entourage or announcement, preferring simplicity over spectacle. Today's flight mattered. He was heading to finalize a merger that would stabilize struggling airlines and protect thousands of jobs. Time mattered. Being seen mattered too, though he wished it didn't. As the line thinned, the denial hardened into policy-sounding explanations, the kind that smother dignity with procedure. Elijah stepped aside, heart steady but bruised, watching others settle into the seat that bore his name. He felt the old lesson rise within him: do not react, do not confirm their assumptions. He took a breath, grounding himself in the hum of engines and rolling suitcases. Around him, the airport moved on, indifferent and relentless. He texted his assistant with a simple update, not with complaint but with facts, because facts were his language. In the waiting area, he sat alone, palms open on his knees, thinking of his daughter's science fair project, of the promise he had made to never let bitterness shape her future. Minutes later, something shifted. It began as a whisper in the infrastructure, a cascade of alerts lighting up dashboards across continents. A security protocol, one Elijah's company had designed, recognized an anomaly linked to a compliance flag triggered by a delayed executive authorization. It was a safety-first system, conservative by design, meant to freeze operations until verified. Flights queued. Cargo halted. Gates filled. Controllers watched their screens go still. The world felt it as a pause, a held breath stretching from New York to Nairobi. Billions of dollars hovered in the balance as hundreds of flights waited, engines idling, schedules unraveling. In the terminal, screens flickered with delays, then with the word frozen that travelers dread. Frustration rose like heat. Elijah watched, not with triumph, but with concern. He knew exactly what had happened. He had insisted on the safeguard after a near miss years ago, arguing that safety must outweigh convenience, that systems should protect life even when it costs money. The irony pressed on him now, sharp and undeniable. He could fix it quickly, with a single authorization. He also knew that no one had connected the quiet man denied a seat with the global pause unfolding above them. Executives scrambled in glass-walled rooms. Phones rang unanswered as teams traced the freeze back to its source. When they finally reached Elijah's office, his assistant explained calmly that he was in transit. The call found him not as a headline or a rumor, but as a human being sitting near gate 47, boarding pass still folded in his pocket. The realization traveled fast, leaving a trail of silence. Protocols shifted. Apologies gathered momentum. The denial that had seemed small now stood exposed under the weight of consequence. Elijah was escorted back, not with fanfare but with urgency, as if the airport itself had learned to bow. He walked with measured steps, refusing to let the moment harden him. As he authenticated the release, he thought not of power but of responsibility. He authorized the system with precision, restoring motion to the skies. Flights lifted. Cargo rolled. Families exhaled. The world resumed its rhythm. In that return to normal, something else changed too, something less visible but no less real. The airline initiated an immediate review. Training modules were rewritten. Bias audits were commissioned. The company's leadership addressed the incident not as a public relations inconvenience but as a moral failure. Elijah declined the spotlight, yet his presence anchored the response. He spoke of systems, technical and human, that must be designed to protect dignity as fiercely as they protect safety. He spoke of the cost of assumptions, of the quiet damage done when excellence is questioned by appearance alone. His words traveled further than the story itself, seeding change in places he would never see. Later, settled into his seat at last, Elijah watched the runway slide past, sunlight breaking through cloud. He thought of his mother's hands, worn but steady, of the countless times he had been underestimated, and of the choice he made each time to respond with integrity. Power, he knew, could humiliate or heal. Today, he chose healing. The plane lifted, carrying not just passengers but a